Hi everyone, so off the back of the 6x6 Canopy Tower card and the 5x7 portrait Canopy Tower card, I bring to you the 5x7 landscape Canopy Tower card. So I've decorated this one slightly different to the other ones. So this folds flat like that and will fit in an envelope for a 5x7 card. The footprint is 5x7. I've used my own papers, which is the Lavender Whisper pack, which is on my Etsy shop, so the details will be on screen and in the description below. The die I've used on the front here is from In Love Art Shop, so make sure to use my code ICEDIMAGES, all in one word, and I think it's capitals as well. I think there's a minimum postage on it, so just club together with some friends or maybe have a look and, you know, just get enough things that you get yourself free postage. But yeah, it's you know, you get 20% off if you use that code, and it really helps me out as well because I get a little bit of money every time anybody uses that code. And then on the back you've got space to write, quite a reasonable amount really of space to write, and yeah, and it stands up nicely. So there you go. So this original idea I found, it was Jamie Rogers that I saw do it, but he did a larger version which looks amazing. But I do like my 5x7 and my 6x6, so I would definitely have it. I really want to have a go at his size. I think it folds down to like an A5 or something like that. It's quite large, but it does look amazing. So go check him out. Also check out Marta Debicka as well, because she also did a version of it, which looks amazing. So there's, see how mine's more of a rectangle on the top, theirs is more of a square, and it does look good, and you've got lots of scope for doing different things in, so go check them out. But yeah, so this is the 5x7 landscape version, so let's get into it. Okay, so for this card you're going to need 2 pieces of base card that are 3.5 by 5, so that's these ones here, and on them you're going to score along the short edge at 3/4 inch, 1.5, 2.25 and 3, and you can repeat those score lines on the other piece. Next you're going to need 2 pieces that are 3.5 by 3.5. You don't need to score these, so these can go to one side. And then you need 4 pieces that are 1 inch by 7.5. Now what I've done is I actually cut out a piece that was 4 inches by 7.5, did my 2 score lines, and then cut them into 1 inch strips. If you do this, it just means you only score 2 lines rather than scoring 8 lines. Okay, so basically on your piece that is 4 by 7.5, along the 7.5 inch length you're going to score at 2 inches and at 7 inches. So if you do that on your big piece and then just cut them along, so you've got to make sure you keep the 7.5 inch length, but along the 4 inch width you cut them into 1 inch strips, so you've got 4 lots of 1 inch. And now I'm just going to go ahead and mountain fold all of my score lines, these and also these other 2 pieces as well. Okay, so if we deal with these 2 pillars first, what we're going to do is, on, obviously you've got 4 sections that are all 3/4 inch, and then you've got a 1/2 inch tab. So on the 2 1/2 inch tabs I'm just going to go ahead and add some red tape. So then I'm going to take that tab, I'm just going to fold it over to the next, so the second score line, take off the backing of my tape, fold that section over, stick it together, and that's one of your columns. So we're going to go ahead and do the same on this one. So then if we bring in these pieces here, so on all of these you want to put red tape on these 1/2 inch tabs on the end. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take that tab, turn it over, we're going to take the backing off it, and then we're going to bring in another tab. You have it the same way around and then just flip it over, so now your tab is on the opposite side to this one. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to fold it under, and I'm going to lay this on, line it up all the way down. In fact, this one's slightly, Here we go with this one. For some reason mine are not quite even. So we're going to lay it down. So I've got the large section at this end, and that just needs to line up with the edge, the fold line, and then also with the top and the bottom. And you want to stick it down so it's like that. Okay, so you've got kind of like a repeating, and then you're going to open this up and take off the backing here, and then fold it back the way it was a minute ago, and stick that onto there like that. So when you open it up, you should have that. Okay, and this flattened should measure 7 inches, which it does. So I'm going to put that to one side. I'm going to repeat the process again on this one. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make marks on the end here. If you want to skip this and just kind of guess it, you can, but I'm going to do it just so I know for accuracy's sake. So we're going to go ahead and we need to find halfway, which is 1 inch, which is here, and then we need to measure 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch is central because that's what your pillars are. So 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to make it into 8ths because it makes it slightly easier for measuring it out on the ruler. If you want to just eye it, you can, but 3/4 of an inch is 6/8. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go 3/8 on this side, make a mark, and then I'm going to go 3/8 on this side, 1, 2, 3, make a mark, and you should have a little mark here and a little mark there. So then you know when you stick that in there like that, that is going to be nice and central. I'm going to repeat the same on this side, and then I'm also going to do the same on these two as well. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done the measurements. Now what I've done is I've just arranged my two base and top pieces. So my base and my top piece, so that they both fold flat the same direction. So I know if I raise that up, it's going to be the same as that. And I've also got my two pillars and put them in so that they both fit the same direction. So I know that this side here is going to stick to there, and this side here is going to stick to there. So you just need to make sure that you know everything squashes down fine, because obviously you've stuck them a certain way. So now what I'm going to do is just move these two pieces out of the way a second, bring these in, so it's going to be on this side here and on this bit here. Now you're not going to see these very top and bottom pieces, but I'm just making a mark so that I know where it needs to go. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is you can just add a bit of glue inside and stick them in like I've done before, but this time around I'm actually going to use some red tape, because then it will stick straight away. Now this might not be a good idea, we will find out. And I'm going to make a little mark, just almost an inch up, so I know how far my tape needs to go. And then we're going to go ahead and stick some red tape on. Okay, so I'm now going to go ahead and stick these into position. So with wet glue it's a lot easier. So I'm just going to take the backing off the tape and then stand this up, make sure this is straight, and then you want to make sure that these two lines fit within your pencil lines. You also want to make sure that it's flat on your desk, because that way you know that these are going to get stuck in straight, that's going to be level along the bottom, and so that's that one done. So then we're going to do the same on this one. So again, I'm going to stick that one in there. Okay, so that is fully in. Now we're going to just turn this. In fact, before we do this, we probably should do a bit of decorating. We probably should decorate first, but I just wanted to get it assembled. So I think we will decorate while we're here, because these pillars, I'm going to want some on the front here, the sides and the back, and this way I can kind of get in, whereas if I go too much further we won't be able to. So we're going to hold off for a second and we'll assemble the top bit in a minute. So you're going to need for decoration So for this front piece here and also the piece on the back and this side here, you're going to need 4 pieces of pattern paper that are 1/2 inch by 4 3/4. And so they are going to go on there like that, and also on the back. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down. Okay, so I've done those pillar pieces. I can do these as well. I might do that now as well. If you've got a directional pattern, you might want to wait till you've assembled it all before you put it on. So for this, you are going to need 4 pieces that are 3/4 by 4 3/4. So these are for the front, the back, the top, and the side and the bottom. Then for these side pieces here, you're going to need 4 pieces that are 3/4 by 1 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and stick these down. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick this one, I'll turn it around, and I'm going to stick those into there. And do exactly the same as I did before. Make sure it stands up, make sure both of these fold the same way, and make sure that this is level on the desk and lines up with my little pencil marks. Okay, so there's your card stuck together. Now we just need to do these pieces here. So I've cut out 2 pieces that are 1/2 inch by 2 3/4, and they're going to go on the outside there. Okay, so that's the basis of your card. So obviously when that folds down flat, it should measure 5 by 7. So that's how it folds down. So now we need to go ahead and decorate. Now these pieces are here because they are going to go in here like that, and this will add some stability between your pillars. They're not quite so independent, but it also gives you a place to write your message, and it also gives you a place to add a greeting if you want to. So I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. In fact, I might do something completely different. I might well put one on the very back here. In fact, I think I'm going to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure on this top section here. So this here measures, this whole section is 5 inches. So I'm going to make a little mark at 2.5. I'm going to make another little mark at 2.5 on this bottom piece as well. And then I'm going to take my piece of card. I'm going to make sure I've got the plain side, not the other side showing. We're going to put this in, line up the point top and bottom with the mark. So the little 2.5 mark, the point is showing. So let me see if I can raise this up so you can see. So as you can see at the top there's my little mark, and that point of the square is going to line up there, and I'm going to do the same at the bottom. So I'm just going to stick this down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that other piece on the other side and then add your white, and then that will be what you write your message on. Okay, so I've stuck the square on the inside. So this is the back, this is the back of it, and then I'm going to go ahead and just stick this over the top. So now I've got one to kind of follow. I could just stick that straight over the top. So that's going to strengthen it, but it's also going to mean you've got somewhere to put your white piece to write your message on. And then it also means as well, it kind of strengthens the whole card. So I'm going to go ahead now and just stick this down. Right, so I've gone ahead and stuck that inside square down. I've also cut out a piece of the pattern paper, that pinky purpley one, to be 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, and that is going to go on top of that on the inside because I felt like it needed something. And on top of that, I'm going to stick my greeting. So this is one of the bonus pages of my Lavender Whispers digital pack. So that's going to go in the middle there. And then I'll come back to you in a minute when I've done that. Okay, so I've stuck that down like that, and actually you could probably leave it like that. However, I have a die from In Love Art Shop which I really like, and I've just been sent it, so I want to use it. And it's basically this die, and it comes, let me show you how it comes. So ignore this one at the bottom. So it comes like this, and then you have all the little flowers and a couple of extra sprigs as well. So I've gone ahead and cut it out of the same base card, and then I've just cut out 2 lots of the flowers, one out of the dark purple and one out of the lilac. And I've stuck it all onto acetate, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut round the outside roughly and then stick it on the one side, so you can still see happy birthday, but it's kind of framed by the flowers. And I just need to make sure that when I cut it I leave enough at the top so I can still attach it invisibly at the top and bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stick this down, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over, try and keep it up the same sort of way. Now obviously you can see all the bits and bobs that you don't really want people to see, but that's fine because no one's going to see them once it's stuck down. And I'm just then going to apply, I'm using this B6000 glue, it's quite good for things like this, and I'm just going to go ahead and just add it just on the bits of leaf and flower and stuff that I can see, where, you know, that it's going to be on the actual card itself. Okay, so I've stuck it down, and there you have it on the front there. Now obviously the happy birthday is sort of a bit more hidden than I wanted it to be. I was going to put it on this forward strut here, but anyway, never mind, it's fine. It still looks good when it's up on the mantelpiece. So the only thing I need to do now is just stick on my white piece on the back. So I've got a piece that's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. I've stamped a greeting. I'm just going to go ahead and stick that on the back. And there you have it, stuck down. So there you go. There's your 5x7 landscape canopy tower card. So as you can see, it's a bit, I think it's a bit more impressive than the 5x7 portrait because it's got a bit more of a footprint to it. Obviously it folds down completely flat and it will fit in an envelope for a 5x7. Even with this coming out here, because it sticks within this line, you're okay. So that will fit in an envelope for a 5x7 card and stands up nicely. The recipient doesn't have to do a great deal when they get it up. My base card was about a 220 GSM. I would advise going a little bit more than that because this feels a little bit flimsy in places, and obviously it just wants to collapse and stuff when it's on its side, which is not a problem because it's going to stand up like that, but just something to be aware of. But yes, I hope you liked it. If you want to have a look at this die, then go over to In Love Art Shop and use my code ICEDIMAGES, all in one word. I do believe there's a minimum spend, otherwise you have to pay postage, so just bear that in mind. Maybe group together with some friends. You know, if you've got other crafty friends, maybe group together, do a little order, get enough so you get free postage, use the code, you get 20% off as well, and it also really helps me out, so please do use that. Also head over to Etsy and check out my digital papers. This is the Lavender Whisper pack, so they're available over there, so go and check that out. I should put that on screen. And other than that, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.